Hello there, it's Anthony Kirby from My Boost Portal. Just wanted to give you a quick introductory overview to the portal and how you can use it for your business. When you first log in, you'll be presented with a screen that looks a little something like this. You can just get rid of this sort of news bar on the left hand side. If there's any sort of technical updates that are required or anything we need to bring to your attention, they'll usually be listed here on the left hand side. You can just exit out of that nice and easily. On first glance, you're presented with your dashboard. We will have options to customize this dashboard in the future, but for now it shows you your total orders and outstanding orders that are required for your action or your attention, and also a graph showing order volume month on month. Your recent orders and product insights are also shown down the bottom here. You'll see these are all blurred out because this is a test account. Your integrations and marketplace options are up here in the right hand side. So you can click one of these sort of little icon buttons, or you can also drop down this settings bar and you can do the same thing there by clicking My Couriers or My Integrations. What we're going to do right now, as this is your first login, we're going to click on My Integrations. Now you'll see when you look at this, any active integrations will be shown. You also see whether that integration is active or whether there's any sort of API issues with that. So if there's ever any sort of slow transfer of data to any of your e-commerce platforms, please check this first. But what you're going to want to do on first login is add a new integration. So we're going to do that by clicking this button here. And you'll be presented with the screen showing all of the integrations available. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, some of these will be able to occur automatically from yourself just by clicking connect and following the basic instructions. But if you do need support, you'll see, as beautifully demonstrated there on the right hand side, there is a chat function. So you can click the button and chat directly to Dan in our IT team, and he'll walk you through any integrations that you require. If that function is not available when you're watching this video, it's because your integrations are all able to be done automatically. I'm just going to get rid of Dan for now. Now once you're connected, all of your orders will start coming through into the orders page. To view all of your orders, you're just going to simply hover on orders and click view all. And you'll see then all of the orders are shown with the relevant platform that they've come from, order details, client details, SKUs, and so on and so forth. This value, if set in your e-commerce platform, will be pulled through automatically via the API. It's not something that we concern ourselves with. It's purely for your own judgments relating to service that you might send on based on liability and so on. So that's what that's showing you there. There's a few filters on here. Again, I won't take the time to talk through all of these, but by all means, please reach out if you have questions. But you can see that you can choose between showing just the outstanding, anything that's been hidden from yourself or any of your team, and anything that's already been dispatched as well. If you prefer to view all, you can just click the all button just here. If you find that orders aren't syncing, you also will have the ability to sync your own orders. Now, just bear in mind when you do this, if you've got multiple channels attached to this, it can take a moment to sync all of those orders because it's looking at and pushing information from all of those platforms that you've integrated with your software, with your Boost portal. To process an order is really, really simple, and this is where My Boost portal gets really smart. Rather than you having a preset shipping rules, we do it as you create orders, and it remembers the configuration of every single order that you produce. So regardless of which SKU or the quantity or sort of the size, it will remember all of those details and preset to that shipping option next time. So in the first instance, all you're going to do, for example, with this one here, is we're just going to click this this green button here. And you'll see it comes up saying processing. If you know the details of the parcel already, if you know that it's 3 kilos, you can click this pre-fill box and you'll see it pre-fills all of these columns down here. If we have the information available from the API from your marketplace, that will also be pre-filled here. But if you do need to make any changes, of course, I would recommend that you check all of these, specifically relating to the weight and the length and the width, just so that the relevant services come up for you, because everything's preset based on that. Because we don't want you to have any surcharges, and I'm sure you don't want them either. So you'll see when we do that, obviously in our test account here, we've got lots of options. Depending on which marketplace integrations you have, and also depending on your location and what services you have available to you, you'll either have boost services, which is where we'll come and collect the parcels on your behalf, or you'll have third-party services, or what we refer to as self-serve options. Self-serve options is essentially giving you the option of having your parcels collected by other couriers, so not from one of our drivers, or also if you prefer just to use the drop-off shop, if that's more convenient for you. There's more than 10,000 across the UK that you have access to, so you're welcome to use those as well. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're just going to have a look, and obviously your rates will be input accordingly. So let's just suppose you wanted to create a next day parcel. We would click this button here, and depending on the option that you have set in your options, whether you want the label to go to your print queue or whether you want the label to print immediately, will depend on what happens once you've pressed that. So you'll see that we had a little message on the screen to say send to print queue. So what we're going to do now is go to the print queue. So to do that, we're going to click on labels and print queue. And you'll see this is the label that we've just created. So assuming that you had completed all of your orders, you would have multiple orders here in your print queue. And you can do these from multiple carriers and they'll all print at the same time. So you don't have to put them into batches per carrier. Every carrier will all be combined into one, and then you can print the labels accordingly. If you want to view any previously created labels, you can do so by clicking on print batch. And you'll see all of the previously created labels are here, as well as the batches. So if you prefer to print all of the labels that you might have created yesterday, for example, you can just click on reprint and then that will all come out for you. Really, really handy feature for your team if you want to sort of pack and sort any parcels and then do them all at once. Now, once they've been sent, of course, you want to see where they're at. So to do that, we're going to look at the tracking options. That's done by clicking in transit and then tracking. Any exceptions to the tracking is found under the exceptions report as well. So if it's outside of a delivery time frame that we would expect, we would add it to your exceptions list. When you click on tracking, you'll see that all of your orders come up and it'll tell you whether the label's been created, booked, order placed, etc., etc. We can view tracking events by clicking this blue information box. You can also reprint the label as well, as long as there hasn't been a scan event. So if I click on there, you'll see that the ticket information comes up. Now, depending on the services that you've selected, if it's a Boost service, you get full support from us here at Boost Head Office. And so to achieve support, you're just going to click on Raise a Ticket and fill in the relevant details. So you'll see it attaches the relevant tracking ID. You'll just tell us what the issue relates to, put in some further information and press Create Ticket, and one of our customer support team will come back to you within 2 hours. If you're using the self-serve option, you'll be directed to the relevant carrier or a service that you've purchased. If you need to get an item returned, you can do so using the returns module. To do that, you'll just click on Create Label. It will default to your business address that you've set within your options. And then you can create a label for a parcel up to 10 kilos, which can then be sent to your end customer, and they can then drop that off at one of 10,000 shops around the UK. You can track all of your returns as well using the returns tracking link. Any support tickets that are raised can be viewed right here under Support and Tickets. And the other great thing that we haven't touched on yet is the Products tab. So once your order is created, remember how I mentioned that we remember the configuration of every single order? Well, all of that is stored here in Products. So if we click here, and as an example, if I choose this second one down, in our test data, you'll see that it's shown that we've got 73 orders sold, the average value, the revenue that's been created. Again, all pulled from your APIs and marketplaces. And you'll see it's got the number 2 next to it. That means that there's 2 shipping configurations attached to this, or 2 smart rules. You can view that by clicking on the cog. You can view all of the product information and make any changes required. You'll see here's the shipping rules. Now they're all blurred out because of the test data, but there's a shipping rule here I can see underneath that blur for Yodel. One of them's active, one of them is not active, and they can be toggled on and off, and they can also be deleted if you don't want to remember that configuration for any future shipments. For example, if it was surcharged for any particular reason, and you didn't want any future parcels to be surcharged, you could delete that configuration from your shipping rules. You can also make any updates to the product information so that we remember that for the next order that comes through. So essentially this is designed to make your shipping smarter and make your shipping simpler with every order that you receive. But if you've got any questions about any of this, you can just reach out to one of us. All of your recent orders are also shown under the product as well. In the orders tab, there's two other options to look at apart from your channel integrations, which is quick send and mass send. Quick send allows you to create a manual label. So you can do that just by entering a postcode, selecting the recipient address, entering the contact information, and then pressing on select shipping option. I think my face is probably in the way of that button, so my apologies. When you select shipping option, it will add that newly created label to your channel orders here, and then you can click on the green button to select the relevant service to send that parcel on, and then that will get added to your print queue. You can also do mass send, so this is really helpful if you use CSV files for uploads, if you do multiple orders for one particular client, or if you want to bring all of your orders from another channel that's not integrated into My Boost portal. You can do so using the CSV file, and you can just map the fields very simply and easily by clicking mass send, uploading your CSV file, telling us which fields relate to which column or row on your spreadsheet, and then that will all be added to your channel orders view here so that you can select the relevant shipping service for each one of those. Remembering that if we already have a configuration for that item, it will come up as a boosted service. I can't see any of those on this test data, unfortunately. And it'll just be a one-click label creation for that particular item unless you want to override that rule. Coming back to the options to finalize, if you click up here, you'll see if you're on a prepaid account where you're topping up on your credit card, you'll see your relevant balance up here. If you have credit terms with us, you'll just see credit account, and we'll just invoice you on a weekly basis as normal using your direct debit. You can click on profile and billing to view any of these options. This is where you can update your business address or profile details. You can also see details of any monthly subscriptions that you have. For example, if you're integrating your own courier, you'll see the cost of that there for the monthly fee to do so. If you're using one of our own collections, or if you're using the self-serve options, there's no cost to use those services. And it will also show you any active integrations that you have within the portal as well. The other options up here in the drop down is couriers and integrations. I'll click on my couriers and quickly explain this. So as I've mentioned, there's 3 options with couriers within My Boost portal. If you're lucky enough to be in a location that we service, we can get our own driver network to come and collect your parcels from all of the carriers and collect them all at once, so you have one collection for multiple carriers. If you're outside of a region that we are currently operating in, you have the option of integrating your own carrier with DPD Royal Mail Parcel Force, and if you have another one, please let us know and we'll see if we're able to accommodate that. And there's a cost of £4.99 per month to enable your own couriers within My Boost portal. That just covers the API calls and the server costs associated with that service. If you are not using a carrier currently and we're not in your area, you have self-select services. And what that is, as mentioned previously, is you can use these on a casual as-needed basis, drop them off at a local shop, or arrange collection by the courier directly. Just note that there are generally no next day services available unless you're doing a self-drop. The collection by others is usually collected the following day, but just check when you create your order, it will tell you the collection date within the label creation window. You can enable and disable these services to suit. If you do need to enable a collected by Boost service, please be aware there may be a few days to get that set up for you whilst we just review the route and make sure we have the correct collection time that suits your business and get all of your rates enabled for you. Okay. Finally, there is a settings tab, and you'll see there that you can choose between click and queue and click and print, so that when you're creating your channel orders or creating your shipping labels, they can print off one at a time, or you can have them all queued up and print them as one batch at the end accordingly. You can also set your default label size and decide whether you want to have packing slips or not attached to that. There will be more options added to this in due course. If there is anything that you think of that you need within My Boost portal, please let us know. We're always happy to hear your feedback to make the product better for you. There is also a help center which will be populated ongoing, so as things become relevant and aware of that, things that we're aware of, we'll certainly add them to the help center. And there is also a referral program. So if you click into there, you'll see that we'll pay you to refer people to use My Boost portal. We understand the best marketing we could do is marketing from other people just like you who love what we do. And we'd really appreciate if you want to refer anyone to us, we'll give you a payment for each one that is sent our way that starts to use the service. That's about it for now. If you've got any questions, please let me know. You can give us a call, 0203 744-1448, or you can email hello@myboostportal.co.uk. Hope this has been really helpful. Any questions, we look forward to hearing from you, and welcome to My Boost Portal.